If you aren't a part of it, why didn't you mention the fact that FEMA was at Ground Zero on September 10th?
Tom Kennedy, a rescue worker with the National Urban Search and Rescue, is part of FEMA.
We're currently one of the first teams that was deployed to support the city of New York for this disaster. We arrived on late Monday night and went into action on Tuesday morning. Late Monday night and went into action on Tuesday morning. Late Monday night and went into action on Tuesday morning.
Why didn't you mention that FEMA has been referring to our founding fathers as terrorists since before September 11th, 2001?
Who was the first terrorist organization in the United States? Who? Founding Fathers. Founding Fathers. You mean Thomas Jefferson?
Oh, yeah.
You mean George Washington?
Oh, yeah.
Paul Revere?
Yeah.
These guys right here, let me ask you something. Did they try to scare people?
Oh, yeah.
They tried to intimidate the British. Did they use acts of violence? Your founding fathers, my founding fathers, were involved in acts of terrorism against British officials because they systematically had British officials assassinated. The guys who we call our founding fathers, George Washington, Mr. Arnold, who cut down the cherry tree and admitted it, is the same guy who signed death orders, if you will, on members of the British government, the British Crown, who they wanted to eliminate because politically they had influence in certain pockets of the United States, at that time the 13 colonies, and they wanted to divide and conquer.
They may get a whole lot of civilians, and hey, I'm going to be honest with you, okay? If they killed 10,000 civilians tomorrow with a biological agent, that's too bad for them.
Why didn't you show us video of existing congressional hearings and go over official government documents that prove concentration camps exist?
Colonel North, in your work at the NSC, were you not assigned at one time to work on plans for the continuity of government in the event of a major disaster?
Mr. Chairman.
I believe that question touches upon a highly sensitive and classified area, so may I request that you not touch upon that, sir?
I was particularly concerned, Mr. Chairman, because I read in Miami papers and several others that there had been a plan developed by that same agency, a contingency plan in the event of emergency that would suspend the American Constitution. And I was deeply concerned about it and wondered if that was the area in which he had worked. I believe that it was,
may I most respectfully request that that matter not be touched upon at this stage. If we wish to get into this, I'm certain arrangements can be made for an executive session.
And tragically, the only member who got close was Jack Brooks, and he was stopped by the chairman. But the truth of the matter is that, yes, you do have those standby provisions, and the plans are there, and the statutory emergency plans are there, whereby you could, in the name of stopping terrorism, apprehend, invoke the military, and arrest Americans and hold them in detention camps. Yes, you do have those standby provisions, and the plans are there, and the statutory emergency plans are there, whereby you could, in the name of stopping terrorism, apprehend, invoke the military, and arrest Americans and hold them in detention camps.
We're part of it.
Yes, you are, Glenn, along with anyone else who covers up the facts about 9/11. Or spits out this sort of propaganda. Here we have more official government propaganda linking Al-Qaeda to the militia and white supremacists.
He goes on to suggest that Al-Qaeda will work with what he claims are 300,000 American white supremacist militias who also hate the U.S. government. If you're a longtime viewer of my program, you know that I've been talking about that unholy alliance for a while.
Instantly after the Von Braun shooting, Glenn-a-Beck started linking 9/11 truthers to white supremacists willing to work with Al-Qaeda.
The suspect, James Von Braun, is in the hospital now. More details are coming in, and we'll talk about those in just a second. But first, here's the one thing. The one thing that they're missing is the pot in America is boiling, and this is just yet another warning to all Americans of things to come. This guy is a lone gunman nut job. He wrote an article titled "Hitler's Worst Mistake, He Didn't Gas the Jews." You're going to see a lot of nut jobs coming out of the woodwork now. Those people who would like to destroy us are enemies like Al-Qaeda. They'd like to destroy us, and they will work with anyone. There are also people like white supremacists or 9/11 truthers that would also like to destroy the country. They'll work with anybody they can.
9/11 will be small change in comparison.
That it was
Am
not,
I right?
Right. Okay, enough. That wasn't some average radical teacher. This is one of Osama bin Laden's close friends. I'm not saying this guy is connected to these people at all.
You're not?
If you're a longtime viewer of my program, you know that I've been talking about that unholy alliance for a while.
Totally in bed with the Islamo-fascists and have turned against this country.
Any of these 9/11 truthers who I've been telling you for years are dangerous.
There are also people like white supremacists or 9/11 truthers that would also like to destroy the country. They'll work with anybody they can. I'm not saying this guy is connected to these people at all. I'm just telling you this kind of stuff is coming. We are under attack in almost every shape and form in America. We need to look out for enemies, foreign and domestic.
Yes, he has been saying that for a while.
When you enlist in the military, you have to take an oath that says you're going to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. The physical threat may be developing domestically as well. Paul's supporters called the donations, and I'm quoting, a money bomb. You know, tying my movement in with a historical terrorist attack. It's not just the left this time, it's also the right. I mean, Ron Paul supporters are also the right. These truthers are exactly the kind of people who want to rock this nation's foundation, tear us apart, and plant the seeds of dissatisfaction in all of us. Which is why I believe these guys are dangerous. I believe these guys are anarchists that are looking to tear us apart. I mean, this is the kind of group that a Timothy McVeigh would come from.